So by the end of this video, I'm going to tell you how much my games collection is supposedly worth. Hello and welcome back to Behind the Curve Gaming. In this week's video, I am taking on the mammoth task of curating my entire games collection. So recently, through someone else's video, I discovered game collecting apps. I noticed I'm basically from about 2010. Anything since from around that era, I'm just not aware of its existence unless someone tells me. I think you get to the age where you just aren't aware of new things that come out, right? So far, all I've done is just add my systems. It seems quite straightforward, but yeah, I'm limiting myself at the moment without shelving in here, you know, shelving on the wall, that kind of stuff, to two kind of like normal size Billy bookcases. And on those bookcases are going to be like some consoles and things displayed as well. So not even that much space. This is going to be really small. So where do I start? I don't know. I might start with something like Mega Drive and PS1, the proper retro, 30-year-old super retro, or close to 40 years old in some cases. Crap. This is a problem when you are behind the curve with much more modern games. This is abandonware, unfortunately. With the Wii, I just don't have like any interest in playing it right now. I do have a lot of the typical Nintendo Wii games, your Marios, your Mario Galaxy and some Donkey Kong. Yeah, as a precursor to the Switch, the Wii U is at least a very interesting concept and interesting system. Because it's something that I like to add to every now and again, this is kind of a thing that's going to go against the grain of me wanting a very slimmed down, curated collection this year. Because it's like, well, I still like picking these up. Not a single game that I possess in the hundreds of games that I do own, not a single game is the original game from my childhood. Now, so far this year, I am feeling the pull of the PS2. 360. Where do I start with you, old friend? Now, the biggest collection that I've been avoiding and putting to last, sorting out the Xbox 360 stack of games. I was going to do a video on this because I saw this on Vintage for like, I don't know, a $5 or something, and I was like, I've never ever heard of that game. Try to play it. Guess what? It's a train simulator. I thought, okay, that'll be straightforward enough once I get into it. No tutorial. And then the last dregs of 360. Far too many games here. Forza 3, I will be playing that bad boy. And that's it, done. Right, so I think I'm at the point where I've got the collection down to about maybe a quarter. Now, there's really not that many per system. There's still a lot of games, still a lot more games than I maybe thought I was going to get away with. I don't know what I was really thinking necessarily. Right, okay, we are back in the room now. Super retro. Oh, Jesus Christ. Going good, going well. That was easy peasy lemon squeezy. I'm getting too old for this shit. My neck, my back, my Netflix, and my snacks. I'll be massively disappointed with no triangle boobies, but you can't have everything you want. I got distracted by Sophie Turner. Probably won't be there for the first time. Blu-ray size steelbook. Oh, very nice. Look at all this nostalgia. It's not bad. Anyway, today is not about finishing touches, and it's literally the next day. So logging my games must have taken me probably about 3 or 4 hours, and for the most part, I'm pretty happy with where I am now in terms of, you know, the games on the shelves. There's still quite a few, and so far, I'm pretty happy. As I've probably mentioned earlier in the episode, this side of the room is the super retro, so we're 30 years and older, essentially the 90s. is what it is. Nintendo 64, PS1, Mega Drive, and we've got some big box PC, as well as even some VHS, wow. And on the other side behind the camera, we've got our modern retro, I suppose you would say, or at least that's what I'm calling it. So your 2000s era and onwards, 2000s into 2010s. So that ranges from some GameCube and PS2, PS3, Xbox 360, and a touch PS4 and Xbox One. A lot more things that I can put in here, but I've been trying to do a little bit more research, watching some other people's videos and things, getting myself back into this kind of like game collecting sphere. And there are so many of these videos where it's how many games, gaming related items can they possibly fit in to their space, to the point where the rooms are barely practical anymore. I'm not calling anyone out. If that's what they want to do, obviously that's their choice and that's what they want to do. And obviously it's very visually impressive when they've just got a complete wall of just games and it's all very nice to look at because they're all kind of like lined up, all beautifully done. Obviously hours have gone into these displays and it's all very impressive. It's just not where I want to go. Trying to get away from the being a sheep and going, oh my God, these guys have got thousands of games, or not, wow, it's just floor to ceiling with bookcases and things and display cabinets, and it's like very good, not quite what I want to do. The things on my shelves, obviously just what I want, and it's completely subjective. This is just my collection. There are going to be plenty of games that I've chosen to keep out and display on my shelves when you've probably seen a lot of games in this video and you're thinking, why the hell are you keeping that out? But you've just put a load of really awesome, really good games away in the loft to possibly never be seen again. You know, the likes of PS2 Robot Wars or whatever it might be, just really cheap, probably somewhat crap games. It's just what I want, you know. I'm going to end up changing it up and moving things around, and maybe one day I will have a larger space when I can display all of my games whilst not being incredibly crowded. Now on to the games collection value. I didn't go into this video with this in mind whatsoever. At conception of this video, it was a case of my entire games collection. And I thought, you know what, I do want to log the games that I have, and the best time to do that would be when I've got all the games in one room. So hours spent yesterday doing it. I downloaded the Game Eye app. Again, don't know if it's the best one, but from my usage of it, it is really good. Obviously, we're gonna have to take a massive pinch of salt when it comes to the values that it puts against your titles, but you can put other things on there like strategy guides, or your systems, your platforms as well, and you can filter by plenty of different things. And now I've got my entire games collection on there, and I logged 430 games. There were a few games that just simply didn't show up. I couldn't be bothered to try and find necessarily if they don't show up as UK releases. Some of them I've just had to select as American releases, even though they obviously aren't. And there's a few like that, and obviously I've came across quite a few duplicates, a few that haven't got the actual games in them, that kind of thing. So I've missed those off. Basically, like, grade them as well. Every single category you can grade. So that, you know, the condition of the disc, condition of the box, the manual, any inserts, every other miscellaneous things that came with the game itself. You can grade all those 1 to 5 stars. I didn't do any of that. It still took me hours to do. You can like batch upload them simply by scanning all the barcodes, and it did seem to be quite reliable when doing that. So it also does link to websites like How Long to Beat. It will include things like screenshots for the game as well. So there is quite a lot that it's linked to. It's not just solely this app. There's a lot that it'll branch out and link to, and it will allow me, when I'm out and about looking at games, I can open it up, search for it and go, oh, I've got that, or I haven't got that. And if I was being a little bit more detailed, I've got that, but I put a note on here to say I want this replaced because it's in really bad condition. So fantastic resource to use. I would recommend that. So for my systems, we'll start there. PlayStation 1, N64, Mega Drive, PS2, PS3s, my Xbox 360s, PS4, Xbox Series, Xbox One X's, Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Game Boy SP. All of these systems that I have off the top of my head that I've gone, yeah, I've got all of these, add all those on. So it has put a value of nearly £1,800 against my systems alone. Now, pinch of salt there, possibly more than a pinch. And then the games, the figure that you've possibly all been waiting for. It reckons my games are worth 430 games, £3,800. I'll put the Dory-do conversion on here as well. I added it all up yesterday, so £5,600 off the top of my head it reckons my total collection is worth, at least everything that I logged yesterday. If someone showed up and said, I'll give you £5,000, here it is, here's the proof, I'm totally legit, £5,000, I'll have your collection, I'll be like, all right, yeah, go on then. It's probably more like 2 to 3, which even feels ridiculous saying that out loud. Well, I've just picked up games here and there. Yes, there are things that I've spent more money on because I have specifically wanted that item, but for the most part these games have just been charity shops and CEX and boot sales and things. And I'm not saying that I bought these for £500 and they're worth £3,000. I've obviously spent a good chunk of money on these over the last 3 or 4 years, I suppose. But yeah, those are some pretty big numbers. Please do like and subscribe to the channel. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you.